Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Porterbox77, coming back at you with another video. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking out my channel. I appreciate it. Check out my last video if you haven't done so. But let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? But again, I appreciate all the love and support. But let's get to the topic. The topic is the Nintendo Switch and their presentation. Now, as you can see from the title screen, is Nintendo might pull it off again, right? And I'm gonna talk about that real quick. But let's go over the basics, all right? I'm gonna start off with the negatives of the presentation. This is just my opinion. Um, the presentation itself it wasn't that good. It was kind of cheesy, but I get it. You know, it's their culture. It was primarily out in Japan. Corny jokes, corny setups, corny, staging events and stuff. I'm sure they thought it was cool stuff, but it wasn't all that. So the presentation wasn't really that good, right? But as I was looking at the live event, I went past that. I went beyond that. I went beyond just the appearance. Didn't judge a book by its cover, so to speak. I was really trying to gauge the information. Um, I was more concerned on what they were saying, vice how they were saying it. Um, and it leads me to this opinion. But let's knock out a couple of things from what's been told. So we both know it's coming out March 3rd, the Nintendo Switch. It's indeed what they consider a hybrid. It's a combination of a console, tablet, and handheld on the go. And you saw how they demonstrated it. And if you haven't seen it, they demonstrated how you could play games on a TV screen and how you could use the tablet as standalone on the table and you could play next to it with another person, or you could use it as a handheld device, directly where you holding it with the controllers. Okay, so we got that. The device is going to cost $300. Uh, some people were expecting that price. Some people were expecting 250. Some people expecting 350 was that window. So 300 is the price point that they're going for. Okay. So what we do know so far, again, it's coming out March 3rd. It's launching with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which was at the end of the video, and I'll speak on that a little bit. But here's basically some things. It's not on the level of in power and in performance as even the Xbox One, which is between the PS4 and Xbox One, is the weakest hardware. So it's not on that. It's not on that level in performance. Okay. It's going to use SD cards. It has 32 gigs of internal memory, and it's expandable using micro SD cards and the expandable memory stuff like that. All right, so that's pretty good. They didn't try to use proprietary memory like what Sony did with the Vita. I got that. It uses Wi-Fi, connects to Wi-Fi, and the devices connect to each other. And you can connect up to 8 devices for local multiplayer if you want the users to have their own individual devices. All right, not so bad and stuff. If you want to connect to an Ethernet, it's with the docking station and you need a separate dongle. There's no built-in Ethernet port. Pretty dumb. Don't see why, but maybe it's cheaper in design. But this is something that's been consistent with Nintendo, so um, it's not like it was gonna change. Okay, all right. They showed a couple of games and stuff like that. Some of them look cool. You could tell it wasn't graphically demanding of what you would see from a PS4 and Xbox One. All right. Another thing, um, online chat. Apparently, it's going to be you have to use a smart device, and what they mean by that is like your phone or your tablet, something like that, your phablets, whatever. But you have to use a device to communicate, and it's going to be through an app. Now, when I see on Twitter, some people are talking about that the app you have to pay for. I don't know. I don't know if it's confirmed or not. I'll try to find out more. Hopefully, we can find out more information. But that would be pretty dumb to use basic feature as chatting with people online, and you have to pay for that. I mean, speaking of paying, Nintendo's planning to charge for the online multiplayer. When the console launches, it's gonna have a trial run of all its multiplayer feature for free, and then in the fall, it will convert over to a play platform. All right, they didn't go into depth on what specific features are going to have, other than every month you're going to get a free game, and I think the free games are going to come from like the Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I'm not sure about N64, GameCube, but definitely from the Super Nintendo, Nintendo era. But here's the thing: it's just been confirmed that those free games that come out monthly, you will only be able to play them for that month. You're not able to keep them. So it's not like what Microsoft and Sony is doing with games for gold or games for PSN Plus, where they give you free games, or they release free games, and you keep them as long as you're a subscriber. Nintendo's not doing that. So in essence, really, what Nintendo's doing is just a trial run. You get to play these games, and you get to enjoy them for a month, and then they take them away. All right. If you want to keep playing them, you have to buy them. That's not really a good thing, especially compared to what Sony and Microsoft have been doing. Sony's been doing that going back to the PS3, and Microsoft just adopted that with the Xbox One, and Nintendo hasn't adopted that. They try to make it as a trial run or something, which is kind of weird because a lot of people play Super NES games, and to be honest, Super NES games and Nintendo games, I could download a ROM emulator and play the entire Nintendo Super Nintendo library on this very laptop I'm talking about now. And I don't have to pay a thing. Call it thieving, call it stealing, call it what you want, but I could get the entire Super Nintendo library, the entire Nintendo library. I could do it on my phone. Um, so I don't see what Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo gets it, but that's another backdraw to that. All right, it's gonna be cartridge based and stuff like that. So that's pretty much huge negatives on that. The lack of power. The online chat has to be. You have to use another device, and it might be a paid app to do it. No Ethernet port. It's $300, and it's not on the level of the PS4 and Xbox One in terms of performance. All right, a lot of negatives and stuff like that we all know. So why do I think Nintendo could still pull this off, given all these obstacles, you could say? Because again, I was watching the presentation for what the information they were trying to pass, and not for what I wasn't particularly looking for. Because I'll be honest, I wasn't, and I'm still not in a way. I wasn't paying attention to Nintendo for the sake of me, because I knew from the beginning the console may not be for me. I understand, so I'm not looking for details. I'm kind of already, I was already kind of in the position where I probably won't get the Switch. You understand what I'm saying? But I still want to learn about it. Okay, and because I want to learn about it, I I kept my mind open. I kept my ears and my mind open on what just simply Nintendo's trying to say to us, and not what I try to want them to say. Does that make sense? I wasn't trying to look for keywords of what I want. I just simply kept an open eye and see what are you guys trying to do. And because of that, I see what Nintendo's trying to do. Nintendo is trying to get, all right, Nintendo's trying to get the people that made the Wii successful. Or they're using the same formula, and that's the truth. Nintendo's not trying to go after the core gamer. They may sound like they are, but they're not. The main key, believe it or not, after that presentation, now that I look at it, it's funny because the console's called the Switch, and you think because it has to do with, playing on the TV, and then pull it out the docking station, take it on the go. Switch. You switch from TV. No, they switched it up. All right. The console's all about what's called the Joy Cons, the Joy controllers. That's what it's about. That's the thing of the control, and I don't think anybody noticed that. But like I said, when I watched the presentation, it wasn't about trying to hear what Nintendo's going to offer to appease me. That I didn't pay attention to the conference that way. I just simply tried to hear what Nintendo tried to do. You know what I'm saying? What are you trying to sell? What's your vision? I wasn't going in there thinking, all right, I'm just going to sit here and listen for online, listen for multiplayer, listen for third party support, which most people've done. I just say, you know what? I'm not going to put any expectations. I'm not going to put anything that says this is what I want from Nintendo. I'm not going to do anything. Just Nintendo, tell me what you're trying to do. And with that mindset, it's about that controller. It's the Joy-Cons. That is the Switch in itself. It isn't the tablet and the docking station. It's the Joy-Cons. And with the Joy-Cons, if you saw a lot of the presentation, they're trying to do what they did with the Wii U, is get people to play together. So it's more about the people playing together than playing games. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is think of the Wii and what made it successful a lot. It was the fact that a group of people would get together and they could enjoy each other's company. And that's what made it successful. You know, the Wii was more of a family game night. It was more of a Parker Brothers type thing. It was more like Monopoly or Life or Trivial Pursuit. You know what I'm saying? When you play those games, it's not really about the game. It's really about the people you're playing against. You know what I'm saying? All right. When you play Connect Four, it's not about you playing Connect Four. It's you about playing the person, playing the opponent you're playing against via the Connect Four or via Monopoly or Trivial Pursuit or think of any other board games. You know what I'm saying? It's about the people, and Nintendo is doing that again. That's what they're trying to do, right? And the console or this product has some advantages to that, right? Advantage number one is the portability and accessibility. All right. Think of the tablets, right? And a lot of kids are playing tablets. You know, a lot of families, kids are playing tablets and all that. But how many tablets are there where two kids can play on that same tablet? No, most of the time you're gonna have to get a tablet for each kid, or give one kid a tablet, the other kid a smartphone, whatever, yada yada. With the Switch, your children, if you have two or more kids, they can now play on the same thing with the Joy-Con, right? So that's an advantage. Siblings, cousins, whatever, being able to play with each other, whether it's on the TV or they have the tablet as a tabletop. They now playing each other. Two, those Joy Cons are accessible, simple, and allowed to play simple games with people, so people can play with people. You know what I'm saying? And not in the sense of gamers, because most of us gamers, even at the casual, like the Call of Duties and Madden gamers, we're used to just playing. We're in our own homes and we play online. But the people, the casuals who bought the Wii, you know, and they would just like get together and have fun stuff like that. Those people are gonna gravitate back to Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? Because those people don't care about Xbox and they don't care about PlayStation 4. They don't care about what we talk about when we want a good, robust online, good multiplayer, party chat, and all that stuff. They don't care about that. They're not that gamers. They're not gamers. You understand? But they're not going to look at the Switch as a gaming console. They're going to look at it as an entertainment device. And with those little quirky games, you know, think of that little game, 1-2 Switch, and one of the games was like the quick draw where you saw those two cowboy guys, and they're like trying to play, doing the whole OK Corral, you know what I'm saying, 1-on-1, who kills who the fastest. That's going to be fun for those casuals. And I'm not talking about gamer casuals, who play Call of Duty and the Maddens and stuff. I'm talking about the ones who played Wii Fit. Think of the millions of people. Wii Fit sold like 70 million units and stuff. Not Wii Fit, Wii Play. Wii Play sold 70 million units or something like that. And granted, it was packed in with a controller. But the point is, those casuals that aren't gamers, but they like to have fun. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that console is going to do. Now, with that, is this console going to be huge for the industry in terms of EA game sales and all the core games and everything? No, it's attuned to its own beat. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna try to pull back all those consumers that at one time were on the Wii and never came back because the Wii U was geared more towards the core gamer and the casual gamer. You know, this device is for entertainment and just having fun. So the people who just do that, the people who like Monopoly, family game night, that's what this console is attracting. And because of that, I can see those people going back. I can see those people, especially since they didn't have anything for the last 5 years since 2012. So let's say when in 2017, for the last 5 years, they didn't have that device to bring the fun. They're gonna go back and get it. Also, it's an advantage for parents or families that want to give stuff to their kids. It's a tablet type device that they can play at home and also on the go, and it could be split among multiple children, between siblings. They can enjoy and play games on the same device. No more are they playing by themselves. The kids will be playing more together. So I think a lot of parents are going to like that. You know what I'm saying? So I can see this being successful, but from the perspective of how we were successful. On our end, us gamers that are into Xbox, PlayStation, the Pro, Scorpio, stuff like that. I could see the hardcore Nintendo segment of those gamer guys that want to play Zelda. And you saw Zelda's coming out, Splatoon in the summer. Zelda's a day one launch game, and then by the end of the year, Super Mario, and then there's some other games in between. If Nintendo does that consistently, pushes out 3, 4 major IPs a year, what I'm saying, which is impressive. Provide smaller third-party titles and stuff like that. But you saw Skyrim was also shown and announced, but I think it's the 2011. It's not the remaster one, but it is what it is. But if Nintendo every year pushes out a big couple, and I think they should put out a little bit more. But to start out, not so bad. But if every year they push out 4 or 5 huge IPs and get some multi plats in between, You understand what I'm saying? Get some arcade games, some good arcade games in between. It's gonna be okay for the core gamer, whether it's casual or hardcore, because it'll be a secondary console for them. You understand? You know, you'll primarily play on PC, you'll primarily play on PS4, you'll primarily play on Xbox One, but you got your Nintendo for the Zeldas, the Metroids if they push it out, Super Punch Out, Paper Mario, Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, Zelda, obviously we just talked about, Star Fox, maybe F Zero, and Nintendo has a huge catalog of IPs. And then if some third parties jump on board with some titles, I could see for the core gamer that'll just be a secondary console, a secondary platform to play on, not the primary main thing, but just something on the side. Okay, where the money maker's gonna come from is the casuals that want to entertainment, just a fun, family game night. Friends come over, just chill, and it's about the people they play with. Similar in the Wii U situation, I can see that happening. I can see this console doing that. I think the only main obstacle will be the $300 price point because maybe people don't want to pay $300 for that. But I think 250 because when the Wii U did it, I mean the Wii, it was 250. The Wii U was 350. This one's in the middle. Looking at the whole thing, you can see what Nintendo's trying to do. You saw how the Joy Cons were controlled and how they were able to play with it and stuff like that. Granted, they presented it in a weird way, in a way they try to be comical, but it just ended up real corny. It was a real corny thing, their presentation. But again, I kept an open mind and I looked at it and said, "Hey, what are you trying to say?" And what they're trying to say is these Joy Cons is what's going to make people enjoy playing with each other again. Basically, they're going after the Wii crowd again, and they found a way, I think, to get it. And I think they might be successful at it. Are they going to be successful going after the core gamers, the Xbox One gamers, the PS4 gamers? Most likely not. Some of us will get the Switch as a secondary console to play those first parties, as long as Nintendo pushes first parties and they repeat, what they're trying to do this year, and maybe ramp it up even more. But anyway, that's my thought. I think this has the potential to be successful, but not in the way Xbox One and PS4 are successful. Definitely not the way PS4 is successful. Not in that manner. It's going to find its own success by re-getting the Wii crowd. You know what I'm saying? Those casuals, all those people who jumped on the Wii because it was a fun, you know, party thing. That's what they're really trying to do. And then also, the kids segment. You know what I'm saying? This is a good product for kids, for 10-year olds, 9-year olds. It's like a tablet type thing, especially if you have more than one kid, 2 kids, 3 kids. This is definitely something great that they're going to enjoy. The games they're going to enjoy. But as a successful console for the core gaming segment, it's not going to be that good. It's missing a lot of features, and the features that are basic on the Xbox One and PS4, you have to use it on a phone, like the voice chat and stuff, and it might be a paid app. It's just I just don't see that happening well. You have to buy extra memory storage for your cards instead of having a huge hard drive, which is like a terabyte. So all those things is what's going to hold it back from being the primary console for core gamers. But I think it's just right enough for as a secondary console, and I think primarily it's going to be the casual Wii gamer that will jump on this, and that's just my thought. So anyway, I'm gonna leave my opinion to that. Subscribe to my channel. Please hit the like button and hit me up on Twitter, PorterRock77. I'm gonna leave the link in the description box. But tell me what you think. Hit me up in the comments and tell me what you think about that. I'm gonna pay attention to more news about Nintendo, and I'll provide and make commentary on that. And it'll probably be a topic on my next podcast. The 60 Frames No Like podcast. I do it every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, and I have 3 panel guests, and I try to get some. I got 3 panel members on there, so it's 4 of us, and I try to get some guests on there of various tastes. PC gamers, Xbox gamers, Nintendo gamers. To keep it fresh, and I try to prevent from having a circle jerk. I don't want the panel to be just the same, like minded. I like diversity. I like different opinions. I like a little bit of conflict. As long as it's respectable, and I see nothing wrong with that. It's good to hear just various opinions and have different conversations. So tune into that. I think you'll enjoy that podcast. Tune into the last one. Had a great podcast. podcast with great guests. Had 3 amazing guests, and I hope you enjoyed that. All right, but anyway, thanks for stopping by to my channel. I'm gonna push out more videos. Next video is gonna be talking about, and I'm trying to catch up, but Sony recently talked about, they have more games in line, so we'll talk about that, and I'll make a video on that one. Anyway, take care, appreciate it, like, subscribe, and you have a good one. All right, and enjoy your gaming time. This is Porterbox 77. All right, take care.